Before I joined PPI over 15 years ago, I was working at some newspapers in Germany. And in my role as a product manager, I was also closely involved in the project at WESER-KURIER.
Yeah. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Andreas Gabert. I have been working at PPI Media for 18 years now, and as key account manager, I'm responsible for our Asian customers, among some other markets. Okay, I suggest let's start right away. Since not all participants are familiar with PPI or PPI products, I would like to start with a little introduction of our company. We have been active in the publishing industry since 1984. That means we as a company have more than 42 years of experience. We started out with planning and production software for daily newspapers, and almost 15 years ago, we enhanced our product portfolio with software modules for editorial work. We are a full service provider. That means we deliver everything from the idea, implementation, QA, installation, project management, and training. And of course, once a project has been successfully completed, we will also take care of the support and maintenance of your installation. We have a strong team of 87 employees, and most of whom have been with us for many years, and they all bring their experience into the projects. At this point, we would also like to mention some of our editorial clients. In addition to ABP and the printers Mysore, these includes Rörs Media in Austria, the Funke Mediengruppe, one of Germany's largest publishing houses, Rose But in France, the Princeton University in the US, and of course the WESER-KURIER, which is providing such energetic support for this presentation today. Okay, what is the focus for today? Many of you are probably still familiar with the brand name Content X, but we changed this into CX Fusion not too long ago because our solution has changed and expanded so fundamentally that a new brand name was necessary. In general, CX Fusion is a multi-channel publishing platform with lots of smart features. A fundamental component of CX Fusion is a headless CMS based on open source technology, with an integrated block-based editor, which serves as a central writing tool for all types of editorial content, no matter if it's a print story or a story for a digital distribution channel. Also familiar from Content X, we continue to offer an InDesign-based print integration, which has been now significantly expanded. That means that we have a module for browser-based layouting, which makes it possible to save a large number of InDesign clients. This module transfers all of the most common layout functions to the browser so that an InDesign client only needs to be opened for very specific and design-intensive pages. We have designed the system to be compatible with other technologies, enabling us to connect to other systems via standard interfaces. Also known from Content X, we have a browser-based print planning system for managing all print publication. And CX Fusion also offers comprehensive topic planning and AI integrations for capturing content in the browser, as well as for creating the layout. And once you have created one or more stories at the end of your creative process, there are a whole range of possible publishing channels available. Today, as already mentioned, the focus will be on print automation for newspapers and magazines, which has been introduced at the WESER-KURIER in Bremen. When we started the discussion on print automation 3 years ago, we set ourselves a goal of saving 80% of the time. At that stage, we had no idea where we would actually end up. Today, Lasse will be able to report on the time savings that can actually be achieved in practice during the layout process. Our principle is that we work with a rule-based algorithm. This means that our customers contribute their knowledge and specifications regarding the layout to the system. The provided templates for pages and articles will be used for the creation process. So we can guarantee that the DNA of your newspaper will persist. In addition, you are also in control of the rules that apply to the design of the page through the use of templates. However, the editor can still manually adjust an automatically designed page at any time. In the layout process, we attach great importance to ensure that all three components shown here remain in place. That means that you can, of course, continue to work with your InDesign client, but our goal is that it will only be used for pages with a sophisticated design. Basically, the goal should be for the page layout to be performed either in the browser or fully automatically by a layout machine. Based on your templates and rules, it will then make a suggestion for a finalized page and immediately start calculating further suggestions if the first attempt is not to your liking. As mentioned in the beginning, it is still possible to customize the design of an automatically generated page at a later stage. So in summary, it can be said that by using print automation in CX Fusion, we have indeed achieved our goal and can observe actual time savings of up to 80% for our customers who use it. And this is accompanied by a simultaneous reduction in production cost and a significant postponement of the editorial deadline. Now we are curious to hear from Lasse how the automation project at WESER-KURIER went and what the biggest insights were during the implementation. Lasse, over to you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Today I will talk about the print automation at WESER-KURIER, and I will first guide you through the process we had to get to the point where we are right now. I will then provide a short demo of the tool itself, and in the end provide some learnings that we found important after completing the process to the point where we are at now. In the beginning, when we started, we had huge expectations, and our editorial team had huge expectations too, and everyone was thinking that the entire thing was working like a magic trick. You plug it in, you turn it on, and there you go with your layout. It wasn't that way. It was more like a proven recipe that we had to try many, many times to get where we are, but it got to the point where the layout for the readers doesn't differ in a visible way to the layout we had with the manual production process. To the next slide, please. So first of all, we were building a foundation. We introduced browser-based layout. We came from a fully InDesign-based process, and InDesign was it was complicated. We had to do client updates and all that. And we entirely switched to a browser-based layout. And with that, we also introduced assistant functions. That means that you can fit in articles by adjusting image sizes or adjust text spacing. So these assistant functions then also come into play when we are using the automated layout process. And we got our editorial stuff to get to know that and to get to know that on a daily basis, so they would also better understand the automation. And also with the assistant functions, they can fix pages that the automation wasn't doing at 100%. A huge step we also did was we standardized ad sizes. So we started out with about 250 different ad sizes over 1 year. And it's almost impossible to do an automated layout with so many ad sizes. So we talked to our sales team, and they were able to strip it down to about 25 different ad sizes, which was a huge step towards standardization and helped us a lot during the automation process. For the editorial team, we introduced t-shirt sizes, which are rough estimations of how long a text should be. So the text doesn't have to be written on point to a certain character count. But for instance, for a header article, they can do more or less anything between 4,000 and 6,000 characters. So you can see it's a big range for our editors they can play with. We also introduced a playbook. We started out with just giving them an introduction on how many characters they need, but they couldn't really work with that. And so we opted for providing them with template pages. And with their template pages, they got a better understanding of how to plan out their content. To the next slide, please. So where are we at?
Yeah, it wasn't too far.
Yeah, I was missing something. So in the next step, we established the workflow. We revised the workbook. I don't know how many times. I think we are at version 20 or 30 or something. So we added new templates. We added new pages to it and gave more options to our editorial staff to work with the contents they're doing. We were doing monthly releases together with a PPI. So we were able to release features our editorial staff requested really quickly, usually anything between 6 to 8 weeks from the basic idea to the feature rollout on our production systems. Together with PPI, with Tom and his team, we did daily workshops. And in these workshops, we took all the feedbacks from our editorial teams and the layout teams to improve the configuration of our tool, to fix issues with the tool, and to make it better every day. Next slide, please. So where are we at right now? We're doing all in-house pages with CX Fusion. So all the pages that consist just of our own contents, we're doing with the layout automation. And 75% of these pages do not require any major post-editing. That means the page can be finished from automation to the printable layout with under 10 minutes per page of working time for our editorial. However, usually it's a lot less than 10 minutes, and I think we average around about 5 minutes for a page to finish it up. That's usually a headline that is too long, an image that wasn't cropped the exact way we wanted, and stuff like that. So minor changes that we also want to work on to get it automated as well. Our goal for 2026 is to automate above 90% of all pages with minimal or no post-editing. And I think when we reach 90%, there is sort of a natural barrier, because we will always have topical pages, special pages, anything we will always build in a manual way. Next, please. So I will share my screen to get you into the demo I promised. I've prepared a bunch of articles that I can select here and drop them onto the page. After a short while, I will see an indication of how the filling rate of the page is with these articles. Looks good. I can open the page and switch to the page layout. First of all, I will go and place a short hint towards our Facebook page that we're using very regularly in our daily routine. And I'm just placing it there to show that we can place any content we'd like to have here manually. We're doing this with sports tables, for example, as well. And the automated layout will, according to the rules, just build around this content that I've placed on the page beforehand. How the layout is calculated. All right, so this is the first layout. I'm not super happy with that, so I will just calculate a second layout. I can calculate as many layouts as I want, but what we're trying to achieve is that the first layout is the best, of course. So another thing I can do is, if I'm happy with this headline article, I can pin it, calculate the next layout, and what happens is that it keeps the layout for this header article and just recalculate the layout for the other articles, which in this case is only one for this page. So I can step by step go to the layout I want to achieve with this as well. So here we go with another example. I will just pick this one, apply it to the page, and what happens now, this process takes a little while because it's applying all the contents to the page. So I can, after that, edit the layout in the tool I'm used to as an editor. And also it's writing back all the publication information for the images, for the content itself, back to DCX. This is why this process takes a short while before the layout is applied to the page. And now the layout has been applied to the page. I could just edit it like I normally do my layouts. For this article, I can have shown all the layouts that are the same height. So I can just pick another layout that suits me better. I want a little of a larger image, and I can replace it. And I don't have to do anything else on the page. For instance, in this case, I don't have to adjust the header article again because it's the same height. Now it's a little bit too much text also in the headline, so I can go in the headline, edit it here directly, make it a little shorter, and I can also see here that I have a little overset, and I can just select this article and tell to get rid of it, and it does it by adjusting the spacing between characters, adjusting image sizes, things that with the naked eye you cannot see. And yeah, this page looks very good to me already. So we can have a look at another page that is a little bit more exciting. So this one was really simple. It didn't have an ad on it. So we're looking at another page that has an ad on it around which the automated layout should flow. I'm doing the same here again. Not putting the articles on the page, switching to my page editor, and as soon as it's loaded, I can create my layout. So this preview looks good to me already. So as we've seen before, I'm gonna apply the layout to my page. The same things happen again that I've talked about before. So now I can start editing the page. It looks pretty good already. I just want to get this interline a little better, so I can adjust the image, make it a bit larger, and I have to adjust the image to make it fit its box. So
this looks good to me. And I can also see at the bottom there's a little overset, and I can get rid of the overset for the whole document or the single article. And as you can see, we zoom out a little again. The layout will look good after that. So quite nice with the better interline here. So just one thing I want to show also in the tool that isn't for the usual user, but it's really, really helpful for the ones who are configuring the whole tool to get the best out of it. So I can see here after it's been loaded exactly which rules have been selected and which template has been selected for which article. Takes a little while here. So here we are. So I can see exactly which template has been selected, which rule was used here for selecting the template, which rule was used for positioning for each of the article, what's on the page. And I can also see here the selection of templates that was made for all the articles. So I can really, really deep dive into the page geometry and the steps that have been taken to get to the layout. And I can also have a look into the rules itself. It's not super simple, but you don't need to have any technical skills to get these rules done. In our case, it's done by the graphic unit, and they don't have a technical background, but they have a layout background. And yeah, here you can see how it works. You have conditions, and then according to those conditions, certain templates are selected according to the metadata of that contents that are on the page. So this is it for the demo.
Okay, so what are the next steps? The next steps are reducing the error rate in the workflow. So our editorial stuff doesn't provide the contents in the right way always. Either they are too long, or they have, I don't know, things like 3 citations or something that we don't have templates for. And our goal is to get to a point where we are doing pure final checks. So we just generate the layouts. Someone is looking at it, thinks it's good, and skips to the next page. And we are also thinking about developing a concept for multi-page layout, so that you put the contents, for example, for 4 pages to those 4 pages, and all 4 pages, all 4 layouts are generated automatically by distributing the contents over these pages according to priorities we have given, or something like that. Next slide, please. So what are the major learnings we did? Focus on the organization. So we started into it, I told a little bit, with thinking that it's a mainly technical and software project. It wasn't at all. So the main thing is to get your organization to work with you, to get all the contents the way you want that, because our learning is people aren't used to work exactly, but it's a fuzzy thing, and it's a lot of back and forth between layout and the editorial stuff, and this back and forth, people really don't want to miss it, so we had to get them not to do it anymore. Get to know your product. We had loads and loads and loads of special things in our editions. We have 1 main edition and 8 regional editions, and each of the 8 regional editions, they were using the same templates, and they were thinking they were doing the same layout, but they didn't at all. They all had their layout specificities, and they were, we really had to streamline that as well. We also found a lot of technical debt because many of the steps that were done during layouts were fixing technical issues just by hand. and there were people doing the same 20 or 30 or 40 clicks all over again the entire day. And we didn't see that before because the people didn't tell us they were doing this. But a machine is an exact thing, and it just failed when we got the fuzzy data to it for layout automation. This is not AI yet, so it's a rule-based thing. Andreas said it before, and we think it's really good like this because we can exactly tell which layout was created in which moment and why, and we can adjust the rules to get a better layout the next time. We don't have an AI where we don't really know why the result came out the way it came, and we don't have to fight with prompts to get it better. We don't have models change in the background and all that. Nevertheless, I think AI might be an option to shorten text in the future or provide suggestions for headlines, something like that, where we have implemented it in our editorial workflow already. So I think that's a better option for AI than doing layout with AI. And a bit of a counterintuitive thing is that online is the winner of this process. I already said that before we started with automation, rarely a content was ready to publish the moment someone started doing layout with it. Now it needs to be ready, and the content needs to be ready. And this really got us to a point where the automation got us into a much stricter planning process, which also helps to make contents being available earlier than they were before. And I think we can, for the first time, really say that we're doing online first, and after 10 years of telling about it, but never really doing it. All right.
Thank you very much, Lasse. So for some summary and outlook, I hand over to Tom.
So yes, I think the next slide, yes. The first point, Lasse already said it, it's not AI based. It's a classic algorithm. And we made the decision when we started the project, because of course we know when you're talking about AI, then everything sells much better, but we made the decision to go the other way. And personally, I'm very happy about that because layout is 100% rule-based, and the rules at WESER-KURIER are not so easy to implement, and I don't know how an AI has learned some rules that are not very logical. And what you have with automated layout is a classic puzzle problem, so more like Tetris. And it's predictable this way. So every time you put the same content, the same layout information and the same rules together, you get the same results every time. And if something is surprising, it's not because an AI is too creative. It's surprising because you made the not the right rules. So also this protocol that we have is something like a debugging tool for your layout rules, and that was very good to have this at hand. So the project from our point was one main thing, that you need decision makers in the project. So there were some, not much, but a little things in the layout that we made a little bit different and a little bit easier. And you need decision makers to do this. So layout changes are always difficult. But one of the project members was or is still the art director of WESER-KURIER, and so we had easy decisions at that point. Okay. So what we have on the roadmap? So in the next month is simplifying the assignment workflow. As you could see, at the moment it's a manual process, but finding the right articles for the right pages is very easy now at WESER-KURIER. So this is something that's not so important anymore. But getting automated layouts for pages like 3 pages politics is something that we will do, and also looking into magazine layouts. So not having many articles on one page, but having articles that are multi-page layouts. So that's on the roadmap so far.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. That is the end of our presentation, and yeah. Heiko, is there anything in the queue?
Yeah, thank you. I just put on all our cameras again. First of all, I was pointed to the fact in the Q&A that one logo of one of our Indian customers was missing in the first slide. So this is my fault then, and as I wrote in the Q&A, my apologies. And we have a few questions. Yes. Does the automated layout module require, InDesign server license? And can it plug into PlanPack, or is there an individual product you have to buy? So this, Tom can answer that maybe.
Yes, so at WESER-KURIER they use PlanPack, so it's fully integrated into PlanPack. But of course you need PlanPack as a planning tool, or you use the CX Planner as a more lightweight planning tool. But we need plan pages with ads and so on to do what we are doing in the automated layout. And yes, it's totally based on InDesign documents, InDesign templates, and so we need the InDesign server in the background. We can use a license from the customer if he has, like WESER-KURIER, its own InDesign server, or we provide an InDesign server and you can get instances on this server as a shared InDesign server.
Okay. Another question, is there a separate license required for CX Fusion? I think we already answered that with that.
What question was it? Yes, it's a separate license for, so you need the planning, you need something where the content comes from, and you need the automated layout. So these are different modules. Yeah.
Okay. And another question, if there can be a POC, a cost-free POC. I think this depends on talking to Andreas, probably.
Yeah, if anyone is interested into POC, please contact me directly, and then we can work it out what can be done.
All right, thank you. At the moment, I don't see any more questions in the Q&A session, and no raised hands. Just as a reminder, if you want to talk to us directly and don't feel like writing into the Q&A section, just raise your hand and I can unblock your microphone. Someone is raising his hand. Just a few seconds, please. So Just a few seconds. I have a problem of unmuting you at the moment. Why?
So if there's any question popping up after this webinar, also please don't hesitate to contact us.
Yeah, I am really sorry. I'm not able to unmute anyone at the moment. I don't know why this is the case.
Can you, Heiko, can you change the status in Referent?
Yeah, I tried this. I never did this before, but just we just try it. So now, Anoop, are you able to talk to us now?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Okay, thank you very much. Likewise, all familiar faces. And I do remember that I saw this presentation also during the PPI days, right? So there's a lot of familiar frames, interesting, colorful illustrations. I have a couple of questions which basically stem from the fact that we in India pretty much are on a broadsheet format, right? I presume Courier is right now on a Berliner, right?
No,
Can you hear me?
Yes. So yeah.
Courier is on a Berliner format, right?
Yeah, okay, but the page size doesn't matter.
So that was my question, because the number of stories on a page are
Yes.
dictated by the page size, right?
Yeah.
So is there any knowledge or is there any understanding on how this would form or perform on a Berliner page, on a broadsheet page?
So we have tests made with much more articles, and also at WESER-KURIER there are other pages that have something like 4 main articles and 4 short news articles in the column at the side. Yeah.
Okay, because by and large, and you would have seen, all of you gentlemen would have seen these papers that come out of India. There are a fair number of stories on a page, and especially very high if there are no advertisements on the page. So at times it goes up to as many as 20 plus stories, right? So in a situation like that, how does does one have to input multiple templates that the engine could look at and pick the best, or is it automatically able to dynamically able to decide the template that suits best?
So the first suggestion that the layout tool makes, the autoplay, should be the best. So that's the goal. You always have the possibility to get other suggestions, but the first should be, of course, the best.
And in general, it can be said, Anoop, that the more templates you have in the system, the better the result is.
Yeah, but
Okay,
of
so
course, you're right. You're right. That's a performance issue because we use a brute force algorithm there, and if you have 20 articles on the page, the number of combinations are much more higher. Yes.
Okay. So this ideally then depends upon how many variations and options of templates do you provide to the engine so that it can then decide within that, or does it just take those templates, or does it also generate stuff by itself?
No, it just takes templates and it chooses for this special articles a number of what he thinks best fits. And with this result of the templates, he's doing the rest. So it doesn't take all the templates, it takes a number of that templates that fits best.
All right. At Courier, what was the added volume that we were talking about? Added ratios?
Yeah, we are producing, all in all, we're producing about 100 pages a day. Most of them come from our regional editions. So it's about 75 pages come from regional editions or local editions, and about 25 pages come from our main edition, which is also a lot of agency material, and we are not automating this at the moment. But from the 70 pages that we have automated, about 75% fully automated to an extent that we don't need any major work for these pages at the moment. So we are anything in between 75 and 80%, and we're aiming for about 90.
So if I understand that correctly, it's 90% of your pages you aim to be automated, right?
Yes, exactly.
What would be the advertisement to the editorial ratio on those 90 pages?
That's a good question. I looked it up for original pages, and I think out of 6 pages, they're usually 6 to 8 pages long, and out of these 6, if you take 6 pages, about 3.5 to 4 pages of these editorial content, and the rest is not only ads, but it's also events and sporting tables, so non-editorial stuff in the title sense, I would say.
That's pretty high editorial content ratio. So the ad content is, I would say, what 20%?
Yeah, something like that. I would say so.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately for the reader, fortunately for the reader, they get a lot more to read. After all, they buy the paper to read, right?
Yes.
Unfortunately for the organization, because they don't make as much money, but that's about it. You did talk about the copy fit. Is the copy fit automated, or is it still manual? And actually, this is where AI can actually step into speeding up the process further, right?
Yes. So we have an integration for shortening text with AI, but what you have seen today is changing the size of images and also getting a little bit in the typography, like making the characters a little bit wider, so something about 3 or 5%. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a short second there with shortening text. We've tried it out, but we have to reread any text that we have shortened by AI, because we need to proofread it and see that the AI didn't put any mistakes in it. And so it didn't get us as much as one would think. It also depends, of course, on if you as a publisher just want to publish something created by an AI without looking at it again, but we are not doing that.
I don't think there is any publisher in the world who would want to publish stories without taking a second look at it.
Yeah,
I mean, the last thing that you want is for the trust between the reader and the publication to be hit, right? But at the same time, using an AI tool, when there are changes that are made, would there be any possibility? Are you experimenting with possibilities where it's highlighted as to this part was changed from the original, or if it's about just headlines and copy fitting headlines, to give multiple options for the headlines that then gives the person on the desk just to click and say, okay, now this fits better and this works better, and puts that in?
We're not doing it for print, but yes, we're using AI to provide help with generating headlines, and that's an option for print just as well, I would say.
Yeah,
Do you also have any tool in it that does any kind of predictive analysis that says that if this story were to go online, this is the virality quotient, this is the possibility given the words that are trending at that particular point in time? These kind of stories can have a good virality quotient?
Yes, we have an AI agent which is even early in the process. So an editor right now can just type in a short idea, like 2-3 sentences, and I think we can 80 to 90% accurately tell how many website hits we will generate with that story and how many subscriptions we can generate. So we have that really early in the process already.
But that's not implemented as yet, right?
It's implemented, yes, but it's not in the print process we saw today. But we have a bunch of AI tools at a central point, and there you can find this tool and others.
I know this is a bit of a digress from the topic of the session, but I guess newspapers around the world, in the truly integrated manner, would be very keen to know what is the possibility with this. One last question. You did talk about multiple editions, right? Local editions, main editions, etc. Do you inherit pages between the editions?
Yes, we do. And also, it's a little difficult at the moment because the ad placements aren't the same over all the editions. So in many cases, we need to manually adjust the text in length to make it fit to the ad placements. So that's still a thing we need to go for, that we get the ad placements straight through the different regional editions to just have to produce a page once.
So am I right in presuming that you do not have any swap pages?
We do have swap pages.
Okay. All right. One last final question. When you do put in multiple stories on the page and ask the page to generate the layout, how is the hierarchy worked out? Hierarchy of the stories, I mean.
We have T-shirt sizes that say tell the story. It's a headline story, or it's a footer story, or it's a story for the side column. And by that, the stories are placed in a certain way on the page. And then we are going down deeper to that. So, for instance, if you have a single image, then different templates are chosen for the headline stories and so on.
Okay, one last final question. Do you have any differentiation between news features and pure feature displays, or is it all one?
I have to admit I haven't really gotten the question.
Primarily, you could classify your pages into pure news and features that are driven off the news. And then there are pure feature pages, right? For example, the weekend pages, the Sunday pages, they are pure features, right? But you could have a story that could spin off from a news story, right? And that would be a news feature story. So do you have any such gradations within the paper? And if so, do you use separate templates and separate grid structures for those?
We have special templates for features, but for the regional editions, they're usually not used. So we're mainly using them for our main edition and for our weekend edition. So the regional pages usually are pretty boring, so to say. That's standard.
But those are the pages that get you probably the most number of eyeballs regionally, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to be boring.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
That's
I'm
it.
done.
Thank you very
Right,
much, Anoop.
thank you.
Thank you.
We had another person with a raised hand, but he is unfortunately gone now. He probably had to leave, so we will contact him afterwards. I don't see any other questions. I'll take a look into the Q&A again.
As already said, so if you have any additional question popping up after the webinar, please contact us directly.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Thanks very much for taking the time to join us. Then we are done here, I think, and I'm gonna end the session once again. And thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much and have a
Thank you
wonderful
very
afternoon.
much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.